Oh, you wanted to cast spells on my turn? I don't think so.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I am playing Myrel, Shield of Argive. They are a soldier that spits out more soldiers when they attack, but more importantly, stops your opponent from doing things other than blocking on your turn. That's right, during your turn, your opponents can't cast spells. They can't activate abilities of artifacts, enchantments, or creatures. Something I do want to point out, just because I am pointing at that ability, is you can still activate land abilities. That's right, you can still channel Iganjo or activate other land abilities when Myrel's on the battlefield. But everything else, off the table, they're not allowed to do it, and that means that you are safe to swing in and hopefully be able to, well, get in some serious damage, make some serious soldiers, and hit for the win. You're going to notice this deck is really heavy in the 1 and 2 and 3 drop slots, but that's because, you know, we're mono white aggro. We have to hit face hard and we have to hit face fast. A lot of this deck is soldiers, because we want to have soldiers out so we can make more soldiers. And with the introduction of Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth, we actually just got even more great cards that either are soldiers or make soldiers. The most notable ones, I would say, are Horn of Gondor. Horn of Gondor is just a Krenko that sits on the back line and taps and makes humans. Human soldiers, human soldiers, human soldiers, human soldiers like crazy. Horn of Gondor is fantastic with Myrel, because maybe your Myrel keeps dying, you can't get it to stick, so you can use Horn of Gondor instead to build up a huge army. But we also have something to protect your army. A soldier, Boromir, Warden of the Tower. Now, there's an ability on him. Sacrifice Boromir to give your creatures indestructible. The ring tempts you. That's great and all. But the other ability on Boromir is actually huge, because it stops Emergent Ultimatum, letting your opponent cast things from exile. It stops all sorts of free spells that otherwise would come in. Your opponent lands in Omni and they want to cast all their spells for free from your hand? I don't think so. You have a Boromir in play. A great soldier. So we have tons of soldiers in this deck. We have some things that generally buff up our creatures, like Flowering of the White Tree. We have a couple of Planeswalkers even. They either make soldiers or help support us swinging at our opponent's face, and we need to get our damage in fast. But in case our opponent is trying to wipe the board, we do have a couple ways to protect ourselves. The ways I've put into this deck are Unbreakable Formation, which can give our beautiful battalion of buddies indestructible until end of turn, or if I'm using it on my turn, I can actually give +1/+1 counters as well, so I can get in a really big swing. This is a sweet finisher spell, as well as being a protective spell. I also have, where are you, my friend? The brand new Reprieve. Your opponent casts a board wipe, you put it back in their hand. They don't have enough mana to cast it again. You survive, you swing in. And of course, the classic, Teferi's Protection. Because your opponent can't destroy your creatures if they don't exist. So we're going to take Myrel into the queue, and we're going to spit out as many soldiers as we can. Let's roll. Our opponent is going to be killing and countering a lot of my spells, because they're playing Zareth San, the Trickster. This is difficult for me, but if I can get Myrel out, at least they'll be forced to do that on their turn and not mine. I'm going to keep this hand. We have something for turn 1, playing this land tapped. Turn 2, Sungold Sentinel. Turn 3, the Horn of Gondor. Seems okay to me. Actually, with this land being drawn, I'm going to hold Ameria's Call and just play this Plains. So Zareth San is a Merfolk rogue with Flash. Also has Rogue Jutsu, but you can only do that from your hand. So as far as a commander goes, Zareth San, not that much actual synergy with rogues, unless you put it into your hand. Okay, here comes the Sungold Sentinel. There's nothing to exile from graveyards, but I do have a 3/2 on the battlefield. Zareth San, when it hits you, is able to steal a permanent from the graveyard of the person they're hitting and put it into play under their control. It's a stealer, a thieving commander. And what's tricky about that is that because this has Flash, if you leave yourself undefended, Zareth San can just come out and steal the cards that it's been killing and countering. The Horn of Gondor! I doot! And doot some more. Let's see if this ends up getting thrown into the bin. This Foretold spell they have here could be a counter spell. Could be a kill spell, could be an extra turn spell, could be card draw. Ah, they used a spell from their hand, a Censor. And now they're chopping down the Sungold Sentinel. Solundi Isle comes into play tapped. I am going to make the assumption that they have a counter spell, and I'm going to play Recruitment Officer and not Myrel. I'd like my spells to resolve. Look, Recruitment Officer. Ah, look at that. Behold the multiverse. Card draw. Yeah, even with like 1 mana up, it's very easy for them to counter Myrel. But once Myrel's down, counter spell's not as big of an issue. Recruitment Officer is great, though, against a control-style deck because you can just spend your mana at the end of turn to look at the top cards of your deck and try to find something. Alright, Shephet Dunes, I am going to swing in, kind of hoping that they flash out Zareth San, so we can use this Fateful Absence to get rid of it. Mentor of the Meek, a little bit of card draw for the itty-bitty creatures that we have. And here comes Zareth San! And there goes Zareth San. Where's Grandpa, you ask, checking the coffin? Well, Grandpa's swimming with the fishes. Okay, well, maybe he is the fishes, since Zareth San is, in fact, the fishes. I'm going to play Iganjo and roll out the Intrepid Adversary. I'm just trying to build up damage here. They don't have enough mana to play Zareth San again, but again, I am fairly sure they have a counter spell. But do they have 2? There's San, you've got decisions to make. I'm handing out scrolls left and right. Any soldiers in the house? This is not a soldier, but it's very good for mono white aggro. No escape! They countered my Intrepid Adversary. And now that they have 2 mana left, hopefully no counter spells. They could still sacrifice this clue. But they can't sacrifice the clue once Myrel's into play. So let's see what happens. Wash away. Alright, so it's the cheap counter spell. You expect to see it in these blue-black decks. We'll swing it for 4. I have enough mana to replay Myrel next turn, but I'll also need to leave things back for defenses. And I'll probably want to play Myrel pre-combat. And here I am, playing Myrel pre-combat. I'm trying to think if I want to play around a Jawari Disruption. I'm going to choose not to, since I'm 1 mana away from being able to just cast Amaria's Call. Do they land? Does Myrel resolve on the battlefield? If yes, then I can attack in. Cool. So Myrel does resolve, and they are flashing out Zareth San in response, because once Myrel's out, they wouldn't be able to cast him. Hey, Zareth San. They're firmly grasping Myrel, removing them from the board. I'll go for the double block. See if they have any more removal. Oh, Gophers! I'm always going to want to block that, because otherwise they could do something like steal Horn of Gondor, and I don't want that to happen. I'm going to try to cast Amaria's Call. Please no counter spells, and please no whammies. Oh no, it's a memory lapse! Throwing that right back on top of my library. Now they'll be able to steal, and I do think that they'll take Horn of Gondor, because that's the easiest card to just win with in a vacuum. It also kind of melds well with their game plan of doing things at instant speed, because they can wait, and then if they have extra mana left over, they can use it to tap to make more soldiers. Ooh. The Horn of Gondor! Does Amaria's Call resolve? We get 2 angels. I have no other creatures, so there's nothing to get indestructible. Would you like to make some more soldiers? There's 2, and soon there will be 4. Then there will be 8, 16, 32, so many powers of 2! Oh, a Thought Sneeze. Goodbye, Mithril Coat. Zareth San, I think, did get a little bit better recently, because we did get Trailblazer's Boots, which can give you the ability to attack and freely. Alright, do I think that my opponent has a way to stop these angels? I'm going to start with Adeline rather than go for Shephet Dunes. I'm not going to try to swing for lethal. I think it's too risky. Okay, I'm going in with both. This is not a lethal swing, but it looks like, had I not played that out, the Adeline, they would have gone for Baleful Mastery on one of these angels in response to me activating Shephet Dunes. They have 1 life remaining, and they can steal from my graveyard. I don't have any life gain in my graveyard. They're drawing a card. They need to find a way to deal with these bird ladies. And they don't have a way to deal with these bird ladies. The chickens win. Caca! Judith, the Scourge Diva. She's all about that Rakdos sacrifice because she makes your creatures bigger, and if they're not tokens, when they die, they deal 1 damage to any target. Which means that this Esper Sentinel is not going to last that long in this game, but I still want to get it out into play. So Judith is a 3-drop, gives all those creatures that buff, and that ping, that 1 damage, that's why I'm afraid that this Esper Sentinel, who is a soldier, by the way, might die pretty early on in this game. They also have access to red and black removal, like that right there. Empress Shieldbreaker uses a battle display where they smash it with a hammer, and it dies. I'll play Bounty Agent. Bounty Agent is actually a card that I really love, but it's missing 1 key piece of text. It should say legendary permanent that's an artifact, creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. I get them not having land on there, because having a creature for 2 mana that can destroy a land, that's kind of rough. Like, if I could destroy Sokenzan with that. But the Bounty Agent 100% should be able to kill planeswalkers. And it's silly that it can't. This has been my angry, upset little rant. Go get him, Bounty Agent. You did fantastic. Love that. We're going to play Restoration of Iganjo. Get ourselves a Plains into hand. That works well for me. And now we're going to get to draw another card because the Stormfist Crusader is a friend. Thank you, Stormfist Crusader. We love you, Stormfist Crusader. Next turn, I'll be able to cheat one of these 2-drops into play. Nice. So they got rid of my Bounty Agent, I think, so I wouldn't be able to use it to kill Judith. Or, I guess in this case, Jadar. I'm going to drop Coppercoat Vanguard. Most of the cards in my deck are humans. Just how it is. I could have also brought back the Bounty Agent, but I'd rather have this. And here comes Myrel. Coppercoat Vanguard is giving Myrel +1/+0. Myrel does not make human tokens, though, but still protecting my commander is pretty nice. Let's see, we drew an extra land. That's great. I love when, like, aggro decks are just fueling each other. Like, hey, would you like to draw an extra card? Absolutely. Would I like to draw a card? Uh-huh. Most assuredly. When this zombie token dies, it will not ping me. So we can block that. It was going to die anyway, if it attacked, though. That's just how Decay rolls. Nice. They can't do much on my turn, which is fantastic news for me. And I have lots of options. I could play the Mithril Coat, or hold open this Mithril Coat. I could play the Recruitment Officer to try and get that buff. I could play the Adversary, too. I am going to go with the Adversary. I'm going to kick it once, play the Recruitment Officer, and now I have a lot more soldiers in play. And these humans all have Ward. Check it out. And they're 2/2s, thanks to the Intrepid Adversary, given +1/+1 to all my creatures. Thank you so much for that card. It's more land. We're hitting all our land drops. The Seasoned Pyromancer going to go wide, discard 2 and draw 2. If they discard non-lands, for each non-land, they're also going to get elementals. And there'll be 2/1s instead of 1/1s. Ooh, that's a Atraxa in the graveyard. That's a great card to be discarding. Harsh Mentor. If I'm activating abilities, it's gonna hurt. Zombie. You know? Sure. We can let the zombie hit so I can get extra card draw off this Crusader. Or stop getting the card draw off Crusader. I'll take the hit. Who do you want to ping? Probably my face. Ooh, most of these are white. These aren't. These are colorless. But a Heraldic Banner sounds pretty tasty. I have a legend out, so we'll get down Minas Tirith, which also gives me access to card draw. Heraldic Banner, we named white. Oh, it's so tempting to flunge here. Can I resist? No, I don't think I can. That's a lot of soldier tokens. The only thing I think I'd really want to leave back is the Intrepid Adversary, but gaining 6 life is already enough for me. It's not legendary, so I can't give it instant speed indestructible using this Mithril Coat. But I can destroy what's blocking it using Iganjo. By the way, that is, I think, activating an ability with Channel. Abilities are weird. And we boop it. They have no mana to pay word costs. Oh, it's not on the battlefield. Oh, do you say on the battlefield? Yes, on the battlefield. Alright, so you don't care about things in my hand. Cool. We win. Because we have a very large army. GG, Judith! Satoru Umezawa, the ninjutsu guy. He makes it so all of your creatures have ninjutsu in hand, and normally it's a ninjutsu of 3. But for some reason, Wizards of the Coast said, you know, let's make this card stronger. It was already very strong. I would know I have one of the decks. Let's make it ninjutsu 3 instead of 4. They're going to be playing a lot of small, evasive creatures, some of which will have enter the battlefield abilities, because as part of ninjutsu, what they're going to have to do is attack in and have their creatures be unblocked, which that's probably going to happen. I'm trying to decide here if I want to risk this Esper Sentinel, saying, hey, I'll trade with your evasive creature because I need to stop you from having creatures to use ninjutsu. Moon Circuit Hacker is going to get them some card draw. We got more mana. Heraldic Banner gives me a buff on my creatures and ramps me up, getting me Myrel next turn. And this also gets me some good blocker, maybe a little bit of card draw. I'm going to go with the Welcoming Vampire and swing in with these two. They're up to 3 mana. By the way, this Umezawa was also given an additional power. It's a 3/4, making it less likely that you would block Satoru himself. Also, Satoru doesn't just give things ninjutsu. If you ninjutsu cards with him on the battlefield, the first time each turn you do that, you end up getting yourself a fancy little extra card. Card advantage and ninjutsu? Looking pretty good. Siren Storm Tamer, they've got a bit of protection now, too. I won't be able to block all these flyers. I'm going to get down Myrel and swing with the Tithe Taker. Myrel, Tithe Taker, going to make it a lot harder for them to activate abilities. This means that they'll cost one more. This means they can't do them at all. But that's only on my turn. Myrel and Tithe Taker are very much like, I hate counter spells. I hate when you do things on my turn. If they kill the Tithe Taker, I'll get a little 1/1, so that will be more flyers to help protect me from the eventual ninjutsu. Hi, Satoru Umezawa. They do have 1 mana, and there are some things you could ninjutsu for 1 mana, but it looks like that's not happening today. Let's go for Heraldic Banner. Going to name White. Love how strong you all are. Swing in with Myrel and Tithe Taker. Welcoming Vampires are going to see these little 1/1s come into play and say, oh, card draw. Only triggers once per turn. Still pretty sweet. We hit, we get a land. I can play Wedding Announcement. That'll draw me cards. Boots, Vanguard. I don't think they're going to wipe the board. So I'm going to go with Wedding Announcement. I can tell you, though, they totally have a board wipe in their deck. See how that's a snow basic? They're running Blood on the snow, which is a really good board wipe that also brings back a creature or planeswalker. I totally understand. I put this in most of my, like, creature-based black decks, too. And, you know, the payoff for snow is totally worth it. Your opponent might be running Redan, but it's unlikely, I say, playing a deck with Myrel, that you could totally put Redan in this deck. In they go! Siren Storm Tamer and the Fairy Seer. I am going to block the Fairy Seer. Would you care to ninjutsu? Oh, and if you're wondering why am I blocking this one over this one, I don't have that many targeting abilities, especially ones that I would be casting on their turn. And I don't want them to scry 2 again. Easy enough. Now they could ninjutsu in anything. Like a whale. Well, they drew me a card, and I have to attack. That ninja is a whale! Magic the Gathering is a very serious card game. A very serious card game, where siren pirate wizards suddenly transform into whales. A very normal thing to happen. Looking good. So I can replay Myrel here. I won't be able to attack with them. I do have some haste. Let's see, we've got Mimic, Patriarch's Humiliation. I'm going to start with the Humiliation, and I'm going to take out Satoru Umezawa. I'm going to ignore this whale. I'm having a whale of a good time. Let's go for the Ranger-Captain of Eos. See what lovely little 1-drops I'm going to grab. Recruitment Officer, Selfless Savior, and the Thraben Inspector. Let's go with the dog. I love the dog. Draw a card off the Welcoming Vampire. She says, welcome! I'll swing in with everybody since we have to. That's what the whale says. The whale says, fight me. Yeah, Pinocchio no jutsu over here. Attack of the Jonas! We get another little guy. And I'm going to play the Adanto Vanguard. In case of board wipe, I now have 2 pieces of survivability. I have a Flying Spirit. I feel like we have control of this board, despite any presence of whales. GG Ninjas. Garuda, Doom of Depths. Garuda steals creatures. When it comes into play, it mills both players, and if there is an even mana value creature among those milled cards, you can choose one of them. Sometimes you don't hit any. But if you build your deck around Garuda, then you're going to have yourselves a nice, even mana value creature or 2. Or 3, or 4, or 5, or 6. I'm a big fan of Garuda. I think Garuda's really cool. And I actually run Garuda as a companion in my Muldrotha deck. We're gonna chill here with our Cathar Commando, because she has flash. Cha-chow! There she is. Bam! They're like, what? I was just gonna name it. No! You weren't. I'm going to play Basri Ket, who makes my attacking creature indestructible and puts a +1/+1 counter on it. Love that. But the big reason I want this out on turn 3, especially against a deck that can run lots of kill and counter spells, is so I can hopefully ult him before, well, that happens. But they use Dark Ritual. Garuda comes down on turn 3. Thankfully, this costs 7. Resolute Reinforcements can come into play, or the Metamorph, which they can have enter the battlefield as a copy of Garuda. So they do it again. Faithbound Judge is 3 mana. And it was a whiff! Oh, wait, never mind. There's a Grizzlebrand. I didn't even see the Grizzlebrand. Y'all, who put this Grizzlebrand here? It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Somebody put that Grizzlebrand into play? No? Okay, we're fine. I'm just going to pass a turn. And when they attack me with their turn 3 Garuda and Grizzlebrand, I'm going to vanish. Like a ghost. Me, my planeswalkers, my creatures, we're not here. We can't answer the phone right now. Oh, but they have a counter spell. Oh no, my Basri Ket! Their hand! There's gonna be so much happening! I'm going to block Garuda and destroy their Cold Steel Heart. They used Dark Ritual to get all those out. But I'm hoping that between Farewell and Elspeth Conquers Death, we can try and recover. Sure, they put a lot of cards in hand, and sure, they're probably running Reanimation, since Self-Mill is a big part of their game plan. But we can remove the Grizzlebrand if they don't have another counter spell. They have to decide what they discard. They have 11 in hand, so they have to drop 4. And you're hearing a lot of ifs? Yeah, because there's a lot of ifs, Luigi. There's so many ifs. Oh, look, Lockmere Serpent. Elspeth Conquers Death. It doesn't resolve. It does resolve. We say goodbye to the Grizzly Bee. They're blinking Grizzlebrand. Grizzlebrand is now bigger, faster, and stronger too. I'm going to, you know what? I'm gonna stick around because I believe in the heart of the cards. Now, the heart of the cards is usually not my opponent drawing an infinite number of cards and dealing 14 damage to me, but I do believe. Booties. Yeah, let's stick it out. Them some big boys. But their non-creature spells cost 2 more. We're going to hit all artifacts, creatures, and graveyards. Now, I have something in my graveyard, but it's more important that I hit the things in their graveyard. Like, even if I was able to reanimate, this is gonna happen. Sometimes it just takes an extra turn. Riceman's playing Sauron, the Dark Lord. And I have ramp and mana and little guys in my hand. I love all of these. A Plains or a Mutavault. I could get down a little guy, but against a deck like Sauron, I actually really want to get Myrel down quickly. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to romp. Plains. Myrel! Are you going to counter my Myrel? That's why I want Myrel down, is to stop them from countering my stuff. Now, Sauron has counter spells and kill spells and burn. That was a wash away. Should expect it. Sauron is super powerful, and if you're playing this card as a control deck, you have a huge advantage the second Sauron hits the battlefield. A nearly unbeatable ward, plus a punishment for your opponent casting spells, plus a way to refill your hand just by attacking. Really a scary commander to go up against. Heraldic Banner. Naming white. We're going to play Ranger-Captain of Eos. A 4/3 thanks to the Heraldic Banner, and we're going to grab a little dude from our deck. Okay. They're making me sacrifice it anyway. So I'll sacrifice it too. Just in case you have an opt, now you don't. A Selfless Savior, Esper Sentinel. Against this person's deck, it looks like they're going to be casting tons and tons and tons of instants and sorceries. So we want Esper Sentinel to help protect us. I'm going to start with Tithe Taker. Hey, if you want to cast a spell during my turn, it's going to cost one more. Or to be a little sassafras, do you pay the one? Let's give these humans ward. Yep, that's a human. Somewhere deep beneath all of that stuff, that is a human. And so is Mutavault. Mutavault is a human and a soldier. Boop. An excellent 3 damage, Mutavault. But a big stinky event. I assume they're going to go for even. Yeah, leaving me with the Esper Sentinel. I think that that's fair. Myrel! Ba-bam. Mutavault is a wizard. Mutavault is a bird. Mutavault is anything we want it to be. A horse. A dragon. Sand! Yeah, our opponent can't cast Sauron because they don't have red mana. Or 6 mana. Which is great for me. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to activate Mutavault and go for the attack. If they had something, I would have flashed in the Rescue Retriever. So here's Shadow Spear, and I'm holding Teferi's protection. Red mana! They can have some things on my turn. I've mentioned before that, like, if they happen to bounce things by channeling a land, 100% something they can do. All right, so there's River's Rebuke, and now we have a lethal swing with the Rescue Retriever, putting +1/+1 counters onto all of my soldiers. GG, Sauron. Atraxa, Praetor's Voice. This Atraxa likes to proliferate, which means she's great with +1/+1 counters, poison, and planeswalkers. Do you like some pee? Because she's full of pee. Speaking of which, we're going to try and stop some of those pee planeswalkers by making our opponent pay whenever they cast a non-creature spell. Otherwise, I draw a card. Yeah, are you getting sick and tired of me? I'll stop. Let's see, we got Captain Eberhart, Arcane Signet. I'm going to play Captain Eberhart. This will tax whatever card they've most recently drawn and make mine less expensive. Go, Esper Sentinel. Wait, is Esper Sentinel about to die? Uh-oh. It's a Swords to Plowshares. They pay the 1 and no more Captain Eberhart. Ooh, look at all that mana. Staff of Completion. This actually is a mana rock, but it costs 2 life every time you use it. More likely, they want that pay 3 life to proliferate. A pretty sweet set of abilities, honestly. I'm going to play Iganjo. We just drew a Cave of the Frost Dragon off the Esper Sentinel. I'm going to use Basri Ket. Basri Ket is going to buff up the Esper Sentinel, putting a counter on it, and making it indestructible until end of turn. Right now, the only removal I have is unfortunately Wandering Emperor, which can't hit Atraxa because she never taps. In we go! Ba-bam! And I'll swing in for 2. Now, if they want to get around this card draw, they gotta pay 2. Faithbound Judge, though, unless they put a +1/+1 counter on Atraxa, I can just trade. I can block. I know how. Hey, I'm blocking here. Ooh, a plains. Nice. I'm going to go for the plains, the signet, the yudge. I put a +1/+1 counter onto the Esper Sentinel, but I'm not attacking in because she has lifelink, and even though it's indestructible, they gain 4 life off that swing. We really want Basri Ket to stick around long enough that it will just win us the game by ulting. It's a super good ultimate ability on this Basri Ket, and since it can come out on turn 3, that can oftentimes just be the game plan. Alright, Tamiyo, are you going to plus and make it so you have some card draw? No, they're tapping things down so they'll be able to attack Basri Ket. That's completely fair. They proliferate. This Tamiyo is going to get an extra loyalty counter. Not what I want to do, but I think it's the right move. We're going to go for Intrepid Adversary and Swiftfoot Boots. We're going to put the boots on the adversary. Gotta give it haste. Going to give it a +1/+1 counter and indestructible until end of turn. And I'm going to swing at Tamiyo. Now, they can trade with Atraxa. Well, not trade, but protect with Atraxa. I need to get rid of this Tamiyo, and the fact that they're letting me do it means that they are viewing Basri Ket as a threat, which they should, because Basri Ket is scary. It's one of those, like, he dies kind of easily. But if you don't get rid of him, you will lose the game. Hey, do you pay the, 3? Thank you so much for the card draw. I really appreciate it, Atraxa. Distorted Curiosity. Ooh, how curious. I don't have any poison counters, so that just goes off. Atraxa's taken out Basri Ket. Bye, Basri. Thank you so much for the +1/+1 counters. It was really cool of you. You should proliferate my creatures. No? Alright, that's fine too. I'm going to play a plains! And I am going to attack with everyone. You might be thinking, why not play Myrel first? Well, I've got another friend in hand who I'd like to use to get rid of Atraxa. Wandering Emperor comes into play and puts a +1/+1 counter on a creature and gives it first strike until end of turn. That they do have 2 mana. But it looks like they don't have anything to do with it. So we take it out. And now they have to pay 4 mana to get around the Esper Sentinel's tax. Nice. Gideon Blackblade, we could have played this pre-combat. But really, we're just plussing and passing. Yeah, the Wandering Emperor isn't just flash out for that -2 or -1. Sometimes it's about the +1. Especially when you're playing aggressively. Yeah, this Esper Sentinel has been working out. Nice. We've got 3 creatures. We've got something that becomes a creature, something that can make creatures, and since we got the booties, we can give haste. Is this a Casualties of War? I see you highlighting many of my things. Looks like the answer is yes. Do you pay the 4? They can't play the 4. But they did manage to get rid of that. We go for Horn of Gondor, but I think it's time for Myrel to make it to the battlefield. And I could either go for haste or playing something. I'm gonna go for the haste. Haste is the place. Do I want extra damage or do I want a Slammer Eye? More damage, more lifelink, more fun. Go get them, kids! Great work, guys. Great work. They're down to 13 life. We're up to 39 thanks to this lifelink. They have enough mana for Atraxa. Looks like it's a board wipe instead. An exiling board wipe. That gives them an egg. Okay, we do have double horns. This is a, I don't know. I don't know if I can say this on stream. It's a horny hand. Alright, I'll show myself out. I'm sorry, everybody. You're the one who chose to watch this. I'm gonna go ahead and put the boots on the Myrel. And I will, once again, plus. Gives me a 4/5 with First Strike. They can't activate Egg because I have Myrel out and it's my turn. But we now have a blocker. Shouldered Edict. Oh! Not making me sacrifice the Wandering Emperor, making me sacrifice Myrel. Hello there, Incubate. And hello, Jace, the Perfected Minds. This is the Mill Jace. I have 5 cards in my graveyard relevant for that -2 ability. Oh, you made my soldier baby. Why would you do such a thing? It's still a soldier, though. Isn't it? Yeah, it's a soldier. Horn of Gondor. Oh, this cares about the number of humans, that's why. I'll make a Slammer Eye. Making sure I still have some mana up. Either for activating the Horn of Gondor, or just for swinging him for some damage. I want to attack. So we're gonna put the boots on the Vanguard. We're gonna swing at their face. And, I don't know. We've got more creatures. And so we win. GG, Atraxa. Athreos, Shroud Veiled. Athreos puts coins on creatures, so when they die or they're exiled, they come right on back under their control. That means you can use Athreos to steal things from the afterlife. I'm going to keep this because it is ramp. I have the potential for a turn 3 Myrel, and I like the idea of a turn 3 Myrel. We also have Shadow Spear, which helps me slay gods. Gods like you, Athreos. Gods like you. Athreos is only a creature if they have 7 devotion, though, so we'll probably be waiting a little while. Ooh. Thalia. Signet. I'm going to play the Signet. I'm actually considering hitting this Cold Steel Heart, too, with March. I'm going to do it. I'm going to discard or exile my Mentor of the Meek to take out Cold Steel Heart. It's a 2-for-1 to get rid of their ramp, but I feel like because I'm not playing a creature this early, I need to make sure that they don't have anything. And it looks like they're going to hit my ramp, too. Here comes Thalia. Going to tax all of those lovely little non-creature spells. By the way, this enters the battlefield most of the time, not as a creature, still as a creature on the stack. Hey! Those are my thoughts. Stop looking at them. Stop seizing them. I got rid of my Intrepid Adversary. I'll equip Thalia. And swing in for 3. 4 mana. Could be a Wanderer. Oh wait, no it can't because they have to pay 1 extra. I attack for 3. Bam. And here comes Boromir. If you want to cast spells for free, no you don't, because I'll counter them. You can also sacrifice him to make all of my creatures indestructible. No land? No playables? Ah, another fine turn for Boromir and Thalia. We swing in. We give him the tax. We give him the smacks. They're down to 11 life. Destroy all creatures with mana value 2 or less. So I can either choose to keep Thalia alive or Boromir alive. And I'm going to choose Boromir. If I wanted to be cheeky, I also could have Fateful Absence my own Thalia to get a clue. I'm going to protect Boromir, so they can't be putting any coins on him. Rather than getting in an extra damage with Shadow Spear. Extinction Event! Well, that's not targeting, so I'll just sacrifice Boromir. So I'm tempted by the ring. With no ring bearer, but that's fine. Ring? Who needs it? We could go Myrel. We could go Sarah Paragon. I'm going to go for Myrel. I actually feel like this is safer. And hopefully we'll get one more mana so we can get out Sarah Paragon next turn. Sarah Paragon will help me replay things like Boromir. 3 mana up. Welcoming Vampire. She can wear the boots. And swing in for toots. Doo-doot. An Hour of Revelation! They destroyed all non-land permanents. Oh, I get my Signet back! Oh boy! Sarah Paragon! I can afford to replay Shadow Spear. Yay! I got a Shadow Spear back! Next turn I can get something better, like Boromir or Boots. Bootsimir. Yeah, this Athreos deck actually seems like it should have been a Kaya deck. The 7 mana hexproof Kaya. I hate that card. I'm glad that I don't have to look at it that often. Why are you looking at your graveyard? Are you looking at your graveyard because I was looking at your graveyard? Okay, I will choose to return Sarah Paragon and the Arcane Signet to my hand. Guardian of New Bananas. Sungold Sentinel! Get rid of your, borrowed time. Got a couple of homies here, one of which can become indestructible. We have 5 mana, or 5 power on the board. Alright, they're gonna destroy all non-giants. Neither of these are giants. I will drop Fateful Absence. No, I will drop Arcane Signet, since I could bring it back, technically, with the Sarah Paragon. Okay, we've got Metallic Mimic or Sarah Paragon. I will go for the Paragon, and I'll swing in for 2. I have nothing I can bring back from the graveyard right now, since these all cost mana, and I have no more left. I only have hit 4 lands. We have to sacrifice. Making this indestructible doesn't get around it. You sure love board wipes, huh? A dog? Wait, a dog? Metallic Mimic, naming soldier. Dog? Hey, Teferi's Protection, where were you a few turns ago? Here comes the giant! Pass into my turn. Banalish Marshal. This is not a soldier. It is a knight. But it buffs up all my creatures. Athreos, not a creature. We'll be putting a coin on creatures, though. Who gets a coin at the end of turn? I'm not blocking. Yeah, I don't know what this dog's doing here. Enter the battlefield stuff, maybe? Just a guess. So we have our Fateful Absence, our Teferi's Protection, and our Rescue Retriever. And I pass. What the dog doing? Shh. Don't tell them about the dog. No blocks. They have 2 creature lands, which could kind of mess up my game plan here. Elesh Norn. That would kill my Metallic Mimic. Unless we do this now. Rescue Retriever. +1/+1 counter. Athreos is a 69. Nice creature. Turns to the battlefield under their control. My attacking soldiers have their damage prevented. The only one of these I can kill that would get it off the board would be you. So I'm going to play Myrel. Gotta go wide. unfortunately, going wide while this Elesh Norn is still out won't quite work. My 1/1s come into play and immediately die. I mean, there'll be 2 2s. 3 3s maybe, actually. Wait. I might live. Is it good? No. But it's something. Hi, Elesh Norn. You want to put some coins on my creatures, too? I mean, all those board wipes were quite just like, yeah, okay, fine, okay, great. Taking another 9! Ow. Don't look at my Myrel. Don't look at Myrel. Don't look at them. Who's getting a coin? The dog is. I'm going to go to combat. I am going to attack with Myrel. Myrel is an attacking soldier, so damage dealt to it is prevented. Sure. Listen, I'm not killing your creatures. They just come back. I read the card. Maybe. I think I read the card. Using Silver Quill Campus to scry? Inquisition of Kozilek. I am going to cease to exist and get protection from everything. Hi and bye. That they can animate one of these. If they do, we can destroy it with Field of Ruin. Right now they have 4 creatures. We have 7 potential attackers. We can kill something, but it will immediately come back. I think what we have to do is, again, just attack with Myrel. I can technically attack with these two. They won't die, but, like, I don't get anything with that. They have enough blockers. Myrel, make my army grow! Please, Myrel. Oh, please don't have any more removal. H-Bots, okay, listen. How many board wipes did I go through? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5 board wipes in a row? I'm doing my ding-dang best! Okay. This is fine. If I attack with all 3 soldiers, Mimic and Myrel, could I get 1 damage through? Sort of. They would animate one of these lands to block. And though I can destroy one of them, I only want to destroy one on that final swing. Just, sippy? Can we swing in? Will they settle? Will they wreck? This is the moment of truth. The moment of survival. They're destroying everything. Well then. These come in tapped. Wait, is it only non-creatures? Are we still good? They're tapped? We win! Oh! Why don't think Blood of the Sky made untapped creatures. We're good. We win! Reading the card explains the card. I should do that more often. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. As always, if you'd like to watch me record this live, come on over to twitch.tv/Amazonian. We're having a hoot because we're having so much fun with our crazy commanders like Myrel, Shield of Argive. This card did so good today, especially playing against these more like grindy control decks. If we were able to sequence things right, cut things off from their counter spells, Myrel is a hell of a card. And I'm really happy to see soldiers doing so well as a typal deck, which is exactly what this was. You saw we had things like Metallic Mimic, we have all these tokens being created. We even have some, surprise, they're soldiers cards like Rescue Retriever, who buffs up all your soldiers and is a dog soldier. Yep. What's the dog doing? Being a soldier. It's really, really fun. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want the deck list, it is in the description below. If you have a commander you want to see, let me know. Leave a comment. Be like, hey, Amy, I think it would be really cool if you played blank, especially a newer commander. Something that's from the last few sets is the sort of thing that I would prefer to build, just since most people haven't built them yet, and it's really fun to get to play with all the new cards. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.